On another episode of Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, we're going to break down the Bulls' loss to the Toronto Raptors, where they just came up short in a lot of ways. We'll get into it right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. First-time users can receive up to 100% instant deposit match, up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's prizepicks.com/promo code Locked On. That's Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. Pat, this game, bro, this game, this was a frustrating game. How did you feel about the game overall?
I thought it was a winnable game for the Bulls, and the Bulls just didn't do what they needed to do. I thought they shot themselves in the foot continuously. I thought that they were I don't even know what the right word to put for it is, I guess. I thought that they were inefficient at times in their execution of the play. I thought that they did a poor job overall with every time they would work their way back into a game following what got them back into the game. And it's the reason that you led to this loss. I thought that they just poor execution from the team overall. I thought some poor execution from DeMar DeRozan, even though the numbers make him look a lot more efficient than he is. And I thought just a lack of hustle, a lack of drive, a lack of attack on both ends of the floor. And it's why we saw that stupid double team work the entire night. So
They found some success in it at the beginning of the fourth, and then went immediately away again. But they found success in it by basically just other people hitting shots at different points in time. Patrick Williams stepped up to hit some big shots. Vooch definitely stepped up to hit some big shots. Io even did, but it wasn't anything consistent in this game, and I definitely think that contributes to this loss as well. Now, where me and you disagree at least we haven't had this conversation on it yet, is I don't like the adjustments, and I think Billy Donovan did not adjust well to the double team at all, especially down the stretch. I think that he went off instinct with the players, and that it came back to bite him in the ass, because there's a much better defensive offensive scheme to get out of a double team, and you have your players move, and we did not see that.
You know what, though? I think the thing that we saw was, to me, there was a game plan, right? There was DeMar gets the ball. There's either a dive cut or there's a back screen that opens up somebody for DeMar to be able to pass to. We saw the players get into that so slow. There's literally multiple
actual game plan. We didn't see it. We saw some play, like Stacey King called it out. There was only a handful of times that ever happened. So I can't take that as being the game plan when nobody was doing it out there. It just seemed like some players were doing it off instinct, but it wasn't anything that we saw a focused effort to do, is to dive cut to the rim.
Yeah, but the problem is, right, like if you don't attack at the right moment, there's nowhere for DeMar to go. There were moments where DeMar's looking to make the pass, and there's nowhere for DeMar to go because DJJ hasn't cut yet. Io hasn't cut yet. Patrick Williams hasn't cut yet. Or even, right, Dalen Terry getting in. There's a couple miscues Dalen Terry had, but I thought he played well overall.
Oh, Dalen Terry in his 10 minutes. I like what Dalen Terry did in his 10 minutes today.
But there were two times just on Dalen Terry alone, right, where DeMar, and again, right, I think DeMar's not helping himself. Why are you backing yourself into a corner? But I get you're trying to give yourself room to make the pass, but don't back yourself into a corner where you can't go anywhere, basically. But you saw coming off of the screen, Vooch is setting the screen underneath. Dalen Terry's not running that hard, which is wild to say about Dalen Terry. And then DeMar's got to try and get a bailout or try and jump and get a, you know what I mean? Like, to me, right, there just wasn't enough hustle from this Bulls team on both sides of the ball. Offensively, right, sure, we could say more. I don't like that the Bulls didn't do the double team. I think most of that is just like you got to knock down shots. Caruso's got to knock down shots, or stop taking them. Like literally,
Caruso is a liability.
1 for 11. I don't get it. Like, you can tell that they're leaving you open for a reason.
Yeah,
and I think there's just tonight we saw a moment where the Chicago Bulls were like, DeMar, save us, and they didn't want to help DeMar save them. right? Like if you move that ball around, you can find DeMar DeRozan again open, not rotating, not trying to just force something to happen, but actually getting something off of a good offensive set. But instead, it was just like a lot of standing around. There was one play where literally, I think Io gets the ball, and DeMar and Terry are just, or not DeMar and Terry, DeMar and Caruso are just standing at the top, both waiting for the basketball to come to him. Or even like Caruso coming up, lazy pass, just leaves the ball. OG steals it, goes down for a big dunk. There was too many of those moments where you just look at them and you go, dude, like you guys aren't playing. You're playing like you think you're better than the Toronto Raptors right now because they don't have Siakam. And you don't have enough people to play that way right now on this team. You don't have enough healthy bodies to play that way right now on this team.
I think that this also in this game, it shows the liability of us not having size out there, because this is a team that, while not tall, like let's be clear, it's not like their starting center was 6'8", so it's not like, but the length of the team, you got all guys out there with AK wingspans.
Coloco's 7 foot.
Did he start?
Christian Coloco started. Yeah, Coloco.
Okay,
oh no. Christian Coloco got the start. No, Christian.
Okay. Christian Coloco. Listen, breaking the record. Shout out to him as well.
Hey, shout out to him, bro. Because Patrick Williams was trying so hard to put you on a poster 4 times in a row.
Hey, but shout out to P. Will for also not giving up. Like P. Will, after the tough game last game with the traveling and the missing the open three, he came back this game and did not shy away from anything else, taking 16 shots in this game, 13 points, not the most efficient night, but he was crashing the boards. I like some of the putbacks he had. I like the aggression he was playing with, but like with everything else, we just did not have enough down the stretch of just the type of things we needed, man. It was frustrating in a lot of ways. I've never been so excited about a team down the stretch, and that excitement gets pulled away so quickly by how this team was playing at times.
Yeah, and you have to I think you almost have to look at P. Will outside of the first quarter and the rest of the game. First quarter, he left the quarter 1 for 8. I was like, when did he take 8 shots? He left the quarter 1 for 8, though. Second quarter, didn't play much, got into foul trouble. Third quarter, didn't play much, got into foul trouble. Got back in, started knocking down some shots, got some key buckets for you. Fourth quarter, finishes this game without fouling out. Did a really good job defensively at the end of that game. I thought he did some good things on Scotty Barnes in this game. A couple of FSU guys going at it.
He defended Scotty Barnes very well in this game.
Very well, I thought so. I thought he did a really good job on Scotty Barnes for most of this game. And I think that at the end of the day, right, like if he's not in foul trouble, you have another weapon you can go to, but Billy just couldn't go back to him because it was just like, hey, you've got 4 fouls before we're a minute into the second quarter. I can't go back to you. Like I need you in the third and fourth because you're the only option I have rebounding right now. Yeah. There's definitely some size issues with this team for sure, if nothing else.
For sure. And, we'll see. And I said over on Central, and I wanted to push it to you to see what you think about this idea. I said that while I know he's not anything great, with the way that the Bulls were getting out-rebounded and outworked lengthwise, would you have given Tony Bradley a couple of minutes to see if he could have changed anything out there?
If Billy Donovan's not giving Tony Bradley minutes, it means that he's seeing something in practice that's not going to help you. I agree with that's my mindset with it at this point, right? Like you've got. Well, now you sent them back to the Windy City Bulls, but you've had 3 guys 6'10" and up on your team. It's not like the Bulls don't have size. Like we keep saying, the Bulls aren't big enough. The Bulls don't have size. They have size. It just sucks, apparently.
I mean, you got to have quality size.
You got to have quality size. And Billy Donovan, I mean, listen, to his credit, right? Like, you have to understand, it's not just put this guy out there because he's going to be able to rebound. Put this guy out there because he's able to defend. It's about how's he going to be able to fit into the defensive rotation? Is he going to be able to be a part of a rotation? Is he going to be able to play up if I need him to play up on a guard and be able to drop back when he needs to get back down in the paint? Like, there's so many things that go into it. And if one guy sucks at it and is disrupting all of that, that's going to throw everything else off. So, yeah, I sure, we can throw Tony Bradley out there and say, go get some rebounds, go get some blocks, but it's about what is he affecting outside of that? Is he quick enough to get to Fred VanVleet off the top at the top? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying, right? Like you can't just we keep saying just put him out there and see what happens. And it's like, but that's not how basketball works. Yeah. That's not how you play. But like if you suck, you're gonna make everybody else suck around you.
Oh, here we go. The Bulls passed from Walker Kessler, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Bol Bol. Well, they were priced. 2 of those players were priced out of the Bulls' spending range. And Walker Kessler, I'm still drafting Dalen Terry over Walker Kessler, in my opinion, even though I think me and Pat were both
I don't know.
high on
I
Kessler.
was pretty high on Walker Kessler. What he been doing? What's Walker been doing? I seen Walker had a couple of games.
He didn't had a couple of games.
Nice.
Now, overall, he hasn't been too amazing, but he hasn't been bad either. One of the things with Walker Kessler so far that I will say that impressed me is that he's a big that plays minutes, but has found a way to stay out of foul trouble, and that's rare for young bigs in the NBA. He has a PER of 20. He's doing 5.3 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, and he's only getting, I think, about 16 minutes per game, 14 minutes per game. That's the production he's giving. That's pretty darn good.
Which is impressive because the one thing that was a problem was that he would throw his body into positions where he would just keep getting foul calls. Yeah. Now, maybe the NBA is just calling it a little different, but like you would watch him in college and he would just be like, huh, and be like, bro, like put some weight on, like stop bringing your arms down. You're not going to block everything. So, but no, I look at this game as I can't even say this game is, the Bulls just don't have enough size. It's about, this was a want-to game. This was a hustle game. The Bulls did a terrible job boxing out. The Bulls did a terrible job keeping people off the boards. The Bulls did
it's
a
hard
terrible
to do
job.
that when you're that outsized. We'll talk about that in the next segment. But first, got to talk to you guys about Prize Picks. Did you have Patrick Williams scoring in double digits? Well, you could have bet on that on Prize Picks. How does Prize Picks work? You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they go to score more or less than their Prize Pick projections, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. Prize Picks offers projections on any sports that you watch, including in NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA, college basketball, college men's basketball, women's college basketball, every single sport you can imagine. Entries can be made up in 60 seconds or less. It's just that easy. Save and fast withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code LOCKEDON at sign up for instant deposit match up to $100. $100.
Oh, no. Thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. For your second listen, make sure you check out Locked On Sports Today. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports, go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insight only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. Now, Pat, as you were saying before we went to the next segment, the rebounding aspect of it, the getting out rebounded, getting 26 second chance points in this game from them. They got out rebounded hugely in this game. We're going into the half, they were only out rebounded by 1, but that discrepancy got completely blown up in the second half. There was specifically a bunch of key possessions where the Bulls actually did pretty good defensively. They just could not get a rebound to save their lives, and we'd see the Raptors get 2-3 offensive rebounds that would end up with a wide open dunk. And this is where I get what you're saying. Most of it is effort, but I would say there were times where they were in good position to box out. It's just the length of the Raptors killed them badly in this game.
Yeah, but you know what? Even coming down the stretch of that game, right? I think that there's moments where the ball's just, first off, the ball shouldn't hit the floor. There's moments where the ball's bouncing on the floor, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, and the Raptors come up with the ball again. Yeah. There's moments where you're fighting on the floor for it, and they tip it out, and the Raptors come up with the ball. There's moments where there was, tonight the Bulls showed me a lack of effort. Tonight the Bulls showed me, it was essentially, right, the same mindset that you had for DeMar on one end of the floor, you had for Vooch on the other end of the floor. Hey, Vooch, you got that, right? And outside of that, Caruso's the only one that came out with a good rebounding night. And you just can't have that, right? Like, I get P. Will got into foul trouble. That's why his rebounding numbers look different. When he was on the court, he rebounded pretty well. He boxed out pretty well. But you can't have those moments where the effort on a play kills you when you don't have the size to go out there with 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 8 guys, right? Like, and the Bulls, I'm not saying the Bulls don't lack size in certain areas, but size wasn't the issue tonight. The Bulls did a terrible job just out hustling to get to the ball, fighting on those boards.
I think that goes hand in hand, though, because the out hustling in this case came by they were just playing against players that were way longer than them and had an ability to get to balls better. We had Bulls diving on the floor to try to get to balls. The length of the Toronto Raptors in this one killed us.
I don't know, man, because right, like in games past, right, Javonte Green has a great rebounding night. and it's not against people that aren't 7 feet tall.
But it's
You know
still,
what I
it's
mean?
different when you have everybody out on the court has a 6'9" to 7 foot wingspan. That's not every team we've played.
I mean, I get you, but like again, right? Like Io has 3. P. Will he had 7. Nice. DeMar had 5. Javante 3. Derrick Jones Jr. 2. And by the way, Derrick Jones Jr., I only got one beef with you. You play really well defensively. If you don't stop, and I think this is the other thing too, we're just doing stuff in expectation. I talked with you about this early in the season, especially it's the rebounding, you think a foul's supposed to come. It's the fighting for the extra play, you think a foul's supposed to come. If those fouls do not come, what are you going to do? Tonight we saw that they weren't able to do nothing. DeMar was looking for fouls all night. Vooch did not shoot a free throw tonight. He was looking for fouls all night. Yeah. Like, Io didn't shoot a free throw. P. Will didn't shoot a free throw. Dragic didn't shoot a free throw. Like, when those foul calls don't come and you're going to have nights like that, what are you going to do? And I think that's the moment right tonight where it's like, yeah, you got to do a little more work. You got to work a little harder. You got to play a little harder. You got to be a little more aggressive. You got to show me a little more heart. I was glad to see the kid out there. I want to see the kid punch somebody. I thought he was going to punch somebody, honestly.
Listen.
I thought he was going to punch somebody.
Dalen Terry may have a little bit too much dog. He may have a little too much dog.
Dalen want to bite somebody out there. Dalen was, what happened? Something happened. And I was like, yo, Dalen Terry looked like he was about to swing on buddy. Like, I don't know. I forget what happened. I was like,
he's in there.
Like, yeah,
he's in there. He's in there.
Hey, if I see him clapping somebody's face, I know what Dalen Terry is on.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. Okay, so we talked a lot. What did you think about the decision to leave Alex Caruso in down the stretch when the Bulls needed back? When DeMar was getting double teamed so badly, and it was leaving shooters wide open. The thought process behind leaving Caruso out there instead of putting Goran in, who really was our best 3-point shooter on the night. I think if you look at a couple of those shots down the stretch with Caruso out there, you have Goran out there. Those are probably going in, but there is something to be said as well, like some of the plays and energy plays Caruso made on the defensive end down the stretch when we were coming back. Could Goran have made those? But which way would you have gone with it down the stretch?
I think you have to roll with that lineup, right? Because you have to roll with the Caruso lineup because you needed the defense and you needed the rebounding. So you got to have P. Will in there. You have to have Vooch in there. You're not going to take DeMar out of the game with the game on the line.
Yeah.
The only other player you're taking out is what, Io DeSumo. And again, you needed the defense. Fred VanVleet already was cooking you. I guess if you're like he's already cooking, you might as well just let him keep cooking because he absolutely would have cooked Goran Dragic for even more. But I don't know. Like I don't think you could have went with much of a different lineup in that situation. You just need guys to knock down shots. And I think the one thing that I will say is I think Billy Donovan needed to do a better job. You saw a lot of guard play off of a lot of the stuff that he was trying to do out of the double team. It was either Goran Dragic or Caruso or Io DeSumo. Those were the 3 guys that were pretty much open the entire night. All of the guards were open. I would needed a little more, maybe throw Patrick Williams in that situation because of how efficient he is being able to knock down a 3. Instead of having your pass out just be to your guards, because then you can do a little bit more with that, right? You can bring in DJJ, you can bring in Javante, you can bring in those guys, but somebody that's a little more efficient at knocking down that shot, but still gives you the ability on both sides of the court. Because Goran, I like Goran, but Goran be getting cooked. He's been better.
But it's not because he's not trying. That's the one thing with Goran that I say is that it's hard for me to flame Goran because he's given there's not been a single time where I've been like, hey, Goran, he just didn't try on that. He gives effort. He just listen.
Goran is Matt Thomas, but actually knocking down the 3 ball. Remember, Matt Thomas would give you his all, but you would just look and be like, Matt, please stop. Please, Matt.
You going to hell for that one. I'm just letting you know, brother.
Matt, please. Matt, stop. Matt, don't. No, Matt. That's Kyrie Irving. You shouldn't be there, Matt.
Matt's like, hey, I'm going solo. I got this. I got the win. No, you didn't do
Matt,
nothing.
Matt, it ain't nothing but hurt feelings over there, Matt. Don't do that.
Leave that man alone, bro. That is.
I love Matt. You know why I love Matt? Because Matt was the only one that gave the effort on defense, bro. But it just ended poorly. Like
that is hilarious, bro. Shout out to Matt Thomas, by the way. Who is he not on the roster at all?
I think he's overseas, if I'm not mistaken.
Shout out to him getting those checks.
He's overseas.
Shout out to him getting those overseas checks. But
hold on, I gotta look this up. Actually, I just thought he might have signed with the Brooklyn Nets.
Matt Thomas signed with the Brooklyn Nets?
He might have. I think I remember that. I might be wrong. Go ahead.
There's
Let's
no
keep the show
way.
going.
There's no way Matt Thomas signed with the Brooklyn Nets.
Where's Matt Thomas at? Hold on. Well, his last picture's in a Bulls jersey, so I'm definitely wrong. Maybe it was just Summer League. Who last played for the Chicago Bulls? Okay, so I think he's out the league right now.
There you go.
He started his professional career in Europe.
Oh, well.
Shout out to Matt Thomas, man. Make your money, bro.
Get those checks. Keep shooting. As long as it's not here, you can keep shooting.
Keep shooting as long as it's not here. Matty Ice.
All right, Pat. Going into the last segment today, because you on fire today.
I miss y'all, man.
Hey, man. So we got Toronto again tomorrow, brother. Still don't know what's going on with Drummond. Zach hopefully plays tomorrow night. What are you looking for the Bulls to improve on? Because tell you what, unless Drummond's coming out, the size is always going to be an issue. Hopefully we have better shot making. They can't double DeMar as much when Zach's out there. Are you expecting a different outcome tomorrow as we play the Toronto Raptors in the second of a back-to-back?
As far as I've seen, listen, the Bulls were competitive in this game. A little hard. I need to see Zach LaVine come out and cook. They're going to put Gary Trent on you. Or Boucher, you need to cook, and it's the one thing that I've talked about on here. I'm fine with Zach LaVine sitting the first of these back-to-backs, but you absolutely need to come out on the second of these back-to-backs and dominate. And we just haven't seen that. I don't know what happened to Drummond, because now Drummond is out indefinitely as of a couple of days ago. There is no timetable for return anymore per Joe Cowley, junior varsity up. They say it could be days, it could be weeks. They just don't know.
And that's because it's MRIs are clean, but that's because it's really just he's just super uncomfortable. Yeah, soreness. So
he's mad sore. And
it's hard to put a time frame on that. Like when your job is doing this and doing this is what's killing you. So it's kind of hard to put a timetable on that, brother.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, right, like you have to think that there's going to be more of a game plan against this. I would have thought that there maybe was more aggression on the game plan that was run. But I think in this one, right, it just comes down to you lost this game off of heart. You got cooked in this game because you didn't out hustle a Raptors team that was missing Pascal Siakam, by the way. Who is he playing tomorrow?
He's out for 2 weeks.
He's out for 2 weeks.
Okay. For 2 weeks, so no Pascal tomorrow.
No Pascal tomorrow.
We also gave up 23 offensive rebounds. This was the first time that we've given up that number of offensive rebounds, brother, in almost 4 years.
Yeah. No, this was a winnable game. You pair that with the fact that you turned the ball over 17 times, and a lot of it out of just bad passes out of the double team. Bad passes out of the double team.
For sure.
And those are things that are still going to work tomorrow. They're still going to run that double team tomorrow. Now, granted, right, like DeMar DeRozan's probably going to try to go nuclear tomorrow because, like, you basically shut him down. But here's the thing. Somebody's got to step up. And the question is, who's going to be that guy that steps up? I would have liked to see Vucci down low. I thought he knocked down the 3-ball well, but I'd like to see him down low a lot more.
That's a pause, brother.
He dominated well, but I'd like to see him down low. First off, you out here with Javante chasing balls, so I don't know if we all out here. But
I think everybody knows what that means there, brother. Like, you should have said pause on you. Let that jump pass, brother.
I don't know. I'm throwing a challenge on that. But I think tomorrow we need to see more out of Patrick Wood, right? Like, who's the person that's going to have this step up, right? I talked about it when we played the game versus Charlotte. DeMar played terrible. Zach played terrible. Vooch played Vooch. Your bench gave you 49 points. Your bench stepped up. Javante stepped up. Dragic stepped up. Caruso stepped up. All those guys stepped up.
34 points, brother.
34 points versus.
You talking about the.
I'm talking about versus Charlotte. Yeah, versus Charlotte.
Okay.
Who's the guy that's going to step up in this next game? That's what you look at, right? Because when you look at the Toronto side, it's not just Van Vliet's 30. It's Scotty Barnes 19-10. It's OG Anunoby's 22-6. It's Gary Trent's 12-3. It's Coloco's 11-7 with 6 blocks.
Bro,
that's the difference.
And what 6 of those all in the first half? At least 5 of those were in the first half.
No, I think 4 of them were in the 5 of them might have been because I know 4 of them were in the first quarter because they were all on P. Will.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
P. Will was like, "I'm gonna get you." He's like, "Nah, you're not."
Hey, does P. Will catch that body tomorrow night?
I don't know. Coloco's a really good shot blocker, right? Like it's not just like he was just being large.
Yeah.
He actually was like moving really well, and he was timing it up really well. Like he blocked DeMar's shot, he blocked DJJ's shot. By the way, DJJ with the nasty 2-hand John Morant block. I'll give him credit on that. But it's credit to Toronto for finding another guy that's just gonna be a benefit to him. I ain't gonna lie to you. They need to figure out how they can play him more. I don't think that's just against the Bulls. Like he put up 11 minutes right there. Or he normally plays 11 minutes. He played a lot more tonight. He
definitely earned.
He needs some more minutes, but not tomorrow versus us. But no, I'm a little concerned with I guess just who's gonna step up, because right now, right, like we saw that production from the bench, but we haven't gotten that every night. And they might even, I know this is gonna sound like, oh, Pat's making an excuse for him again. They've played a lot of games in a little bit of time. The bench might be tired. The starting unit is probably tired. Zach is the one, and that's why I say Zach LaVine needs to come in and cook, because you're the dude that's getting the rest.
I mean, Zach hasn't, outside of a couple of quarters, hasn't looked too dominant, but at some point you have to feel like it's coming. You got to feel like it's bubbling over. It's going to come at some point. Yeah. And we may need it tomorrow. And like I said, Zach being out there tomorrow needs to make the Raptors realize why they can't double team DeMar tomorrow night like they did today. If Zach has another cold night shooting, we know Zach hasn't been cutting to the rim with the same aggressive. Tomorrow there's going to be a game where his shooting prowess is going to be needed and it's going to be on display. If Zach can go that 3 for 5 from 3-point range when they try to double DeMar, that completely changes the outlook of this game.
And I think that's the difference, right? Like you saw when the game opened up for the Bulls, Dragic was knocking down the 3.
Yeah.
Io was knocking down the 3. Now
By
all of a sudden,
bro, we were so wrong on Dragic, man, and I'm so happy that we were.
Was that a we? Is that a we?
Bro, you were.
I don't know.
You weren't.
We.
Bro, you weren't as low as me. I'll give you that. But
no.
you weren't.
No, I will say this. He's done it more consistently than I thought he would. I said he would play good one out every 3 games.
Yeah.
Because I thought that it was the schedule would affect him a lot more. But he's played better. He's definitely played better than I thought he would. I guess he's technically got more minutes than we thought he would too.
Definitely.
He's not getting 20 to 25, but he's getting some good minutes in that mug, man. So but guys like that, bro, need you to step up. Need you to step and Caruso, stop shooting. You do everything else. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If Caruso didn't take a shot tonight, Caruso had a great game. 11 rebounds, 11 assists, I believe 2 blocks, 2 steals. If he didn't take another shot the rest of great game. 1 for 11, taking shots that literally killed us all night because it was like, bro, you could have moved the ball and got a better shot out of that. Crazy. Caruso was not good tonight. But he was.
Well, no, defense. He was in certain areas.
He wasn't. And that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing is that if at this point we're seeing now, if you're going to force or try to live or die by Caruso hitting open shots, you're about to die. He's not like Caruso shooting is terrible. It's terrible.
It's from different spots. I'm cool with the corner 3, right? Like, let's just
even
Tucker.
That though. Really,
give me the PJ Tucker. Give me the PJ Tucker. The PJ Tucker. We know what shot you can hit,
bro. Like just like literally. I've never loved and hated a player so much because when Caruso's out there doing the dirty work, the defense, the getting out in transition, it's great. Every time he loads up to take a shot. Now I'm just like, no. Just don't.
It's so quick too because it's off of a steal from him.
Yeah.
Like it's off a steal or off a block or like he snatched it out of somebody's soul and then threw that mug up, got the ball right back, pulled it. It's like you missed the rim.
He shot an air ball one time on an open 3. I was like, come on, fam. I never thought I would miss Kobe as much as I have. Like
Antoine said, Alex is our Patrick Beverly. I wouldn't go that far.
Somebody in the Chicago Bulls Central Post game said, is Alex Caruso turning into our Russell Westbrook? And I had to say no because at least he's still giving defensive effort.
Oh, Y'all need to watch Russ. Russ been playing pretty well lately.
Yeah.
Russ off that bench role been doing pretty nice. What was Russ like 19 and 11 tonight? He's doing pretty
Something
well.
like that.
But no, I don't
Still
think
in a loss though.
I think the thing is, right, when you start to have guys that are missing, like you do with Zach LaVine. Of course, Kobe White. I don't think Kobe White makes that big of a difference because he wasn't getting a ton of tick when he was on the court. But when you start to have guys miss, you have to have guys step up in roles that they're not suited for. And Alex Caruso is not suited to be the open shooter on your offense.
Yeah.
He's great for the defensive side. He's great for the he's been a little iffy facilitating ties too. He's been throwing some bad passes, but he's great on the rebounding help with that, right? And coming back door. But you have to get these guys, right? These are the moments where, like I said, tomorrow, Zach LaVine, you got to show me something. You got to look at what your team did tonight and be like, we won't have that issue tomorrow because I'm going to be knocking down shots. Or I'm going to be getting to the bucket.
Let's hope we fare better tomorrow night, Pat, but that is our time for the night, brother.
Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls, man. Make sure you follow me over at Pat the Designer on everything, man. On the bright side, and this has nothing to do with this podcast, we might have a franchise quarterback. I don't. Nobody say nothing.
We got a franchise quarterback.
No, don't nobody say nothing yet. Don't nobody. You gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up tomorrow, and then you're not gonna be on the team. You're gonna be on the Colts. You're gonna wake up, and it's gonna all be a dream. Don't say that yet. Don't believe
it.
We
got a franchise quarterback. I'm happy about that. You guys can follow me at CEO Haize, CEO Haize. And thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, go check on Locked On NBA, where the Locked On experts break down everything in 30 minutes or less. They can be found on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls. And I'm going to press the right button today as we go to our outro. Peace, y'all.